Hello, welcome to Lakeview Kindergarten Roundup. Welcome, Lakeview Kindergarten families, the families that will have kindergartners or begindergartners the fall of 2020. I'm Jody Rickles. I'm the Lakeview principal at this time. I am, however, retiring. So next year's principal will be Mrs. Jessica Tabor. Mrs. Tabor, I'm sure, will connect with you at a later date as there will be more information coming. But I wanted to get this started because I know many of you are anxious to hear about information concerning kindergarten. And we wanted to give you as much of a kindergarten roundup experience as we could, knowing that this pandemic has set us all back a little bit. But despite that, I would like to welcome all of the families and the kids from the class of 2033. I know that sounds like a long time away, but it surely isn't. This is such a great first step in their journey of public education, and we are so glad that they're going to be here at Lakeview Elementary. Each spring, we do have this roundup, and we usually get to meet all of you and greet all of you in person, as well as the children. But again, we're just making do with things that we can. Attached on this email is the guidance counselor, the nurse, and the PTO representatives, and there's much more information that they have as well. But I will be giving you the information that we have now, knowing, please, that some of it might change depending on the future of this pandemic and what it means for public schools, and there may be more to come. Like I said, Mrs. Tabor might give you additional information as things continue. So, without any further ado, I'm going to switch to the PowerPoint presentation and go through it just as if you were sitting in the bleachers at Lakeview and listening. So thank you again for tuning into this little video and getting the information as we have it. And I am excited sometime to hopefully meet all of you. Welcome to Lakeview. There is a picture of our wonderful kindergarten team of teachers. From left to right is Allie O'Brien, Melody Morse, Samantha Brimmeyer, Elise Gregg, Corinne Neville, and our begindergarten teacher, Lori Steinacher. They are amazing. They will love and care for your children as if they were their own, and they are outstanding teachers. You will be amazed at how much your children learn and grow this year. I often tell families that if you don't remember anything else from this kindergarten roundup, remember this screen. The first day of school, at least for now, is scheduled for Monday, August 24th. School every day starts at 8:10, and we dismiss at 3:05. Except on Thursdays, every single Thursday we dismiss at 1:35. It says 1:45 in the documents from the school district, but that's for everybody. So they come to pick up Lakeview first. Then they go to the intermediate school, then the middle school, in which the high school also gets on there. By the time that all gets around the block, we are about 1:45, 1:50. But in order to make that work, they pick up Lakeview students at 1:35 on Thursdays. There is a great deal of details on our Solon webpage. You can also link at the Solon webpage, you can link to the Lakeview site and read our Lakeview handbook, which has an enormous amount of details as well on any number of these things that you'll be seeing today. Many times parents ask, is my child ready for kindergarten? Of course, the only requirement from the Department of Education of Iowa is that your child turns 5 years old on or before September 15th. But here is a list of some other things that if they're working on things, or if you want to work with them to make sure they're ready for kindergarten, these are the kinds of things you could work on this summer. It doesn't mean they have to do any one of these things to perfection or at all. We'll work on them too. But just in case you are wondering, these all help in getting ready for kindergarten. We also assign your child a teacher, just like we do everybody else through third grade. There's 450 students in our building, and we have to, as required by the Department of Education, have balanced classrooms. We also look at each child's needs, and we take a look at the kindergarten survey. It says here, but it really is that questionnaire. It's linked in this email that was sent to you. So please make sure you get that email back to us, that questionnaire back to us, because we will read them and use them to assigning balanced classrooms. The first week of June is when you should know which teacher your child is assigned to. In those teachers' classrooms, there's lots of goals that we have. The academic part of it is really outlined in the Iowa Core Standards. Again, can be found on the Department of Education webpage. But we also make sure that they adjust well to school and have social skills as well as emotional and independent and self-help skill development. Each morning, we ask that your child arrive at school no earlier than 7:55. The bus drop-offs are on the west side of the building. That is the only drop-off on that side. Parent drop-offs are on the east side by the office. We make sure that the areas are restricted so that everybody is safe. The front drop-off, where parents pull in, is separated into 3 tiers. The driveway or the tier closest to the school is for drive-through and drop-off. The parents would not get out of the car. The child only gets out of the car, waves goodbye, and skips into the building. The other 2 tiers of that parking lot are for you to park and get out and walk into the building with your child. In kindergarten, usually that's a good idea the first week or so of school until the child knows exactly where their classroom is. Then they go to a gathering time. If they arrive from 7:55 to 8:10, they sit and wait for their teacher to come bring them to their classroom and escort them there. It is a supervised time. We have adults that monitor this so that it's a very short time period and it's a time to get their day started. Also during kindergarten, there's a snack time. It's daily, doesn't take very long, and we do stress some great manners and some social skills during that time. The nurse will give you more guidance on what is acceptable to provide for your child for snack. Each family provides for their child's snack alone. There is art, music, PE or gym, media center, and guidance as a rotation each day for kindergarten. Of course, there's a lunchtime. You are welcome to send a home lunch with your child. You can have a home lunch with the drink included, or if you would like your child to get milk, they are certainly welcome to purchase that separately. Recess, of course, is about getting along, and there is much fun, but also much learning that goes on during recess. We have a separate playground that is got equipment designed especially for 3 to 6-year-olds. It is all fenced in, and we have several supervisors that are out with the kindergarten students at the same time. Sometimes it takes a little bit of trial and error for students to get used to playing with so many children at the same time. Don't worry, we'll get it figured out. We also have an alternate program called Begindergarten. Begindergarten follows the school schedule, but it is separate from the regular kindergarten classes. It is an option if you feel your child could use an extra year of development. So your child would be chronologically old enough, meaning they're 5 on or before September 15th, but you want them to have an extra year. Students going to Begindergarten would then be expected to attend kindergarten next year. We have had about 21 families who marked on the sign-up that they are interested in begindergarten. We limit the number to 15. We will be letting families know in the next 2 days whether their child has gotten into begindergarten or not. If it's something you're interested in, make sure that you contact me today or tomorrow, but also know that we scrutinize that there's somebody that's appropriate and would benefit socially, emotionally, academically, physically, and or intellectually to that extra year of kindergarten. If you want more information about it or to talk further, call, email me. My email is there, or to next year's principal, Mrs. Tabor, and she can help as well. The end of the day, dismissal is organized. There's a lot of ways children go home. Parent pickup, bus, some go to the before and after school program, some walk home, some ride their bikes. One thing is we're always sure of where they're going, and we make sure that happens. We don't ever just open the door and say goodbye and let a kindergartner go. Another thing that we never do is trust your child to know where they're going. I know that sounds a little harsh, but we don't ever take their word for it. We want to know from you. So we will have a regular dismissal routine that we know of, and sometimes that changes. We understand that. We will expect a note or a call or an email from you if there is a change in the dismissal routine. We have to know for safety and for everyone's assurance that your child gets to the right place when they leave us at the end of the day. Also, children have an odd sense of time and when they're in kindergarten. Sometimes you might tell them Grandma's going to come on Friday. Well, they maybe don't know their days of the week, so they say on Monday, Grandma's coming to get me today. And they just don't understand days of the week quite yet. So we would call or reach out to you to make sure we verify that. But we would never trust what the child's saying and just go with that without contacting you or without getting an email or some verification from you for sure. There's a lot of things that happen in kindergarten at Lakeview, but most of all, we want them to develop a love of learning and have lots of opportunities for success. You will be amazed at how much they learn and grow. Thanks for listening through with this. Make sure that you complete that questionnaire. Continue to watch the guidance counselor, the nurse, and the PTO as well. I hope that was informative for you and gave you a little glimpse of what kindergarten might be like. On this email that you received today, I also put the email information, contact information for our before and after school program director. If you're interested in that program, please reach out to her. Amber Feeker is her name. And don't forget, one more time, I'm going to remind you about that questionnaire. Don't forget to complete that and get it back to us. And lastly, welcome. I am so glad to welcome you here to Lakeview. If you have any questions, which some of you might, and we usually can do that in person, there is also a link to a Google Doc. If one of you has a question, maybe others have that question too. So rather than answering 200 emails or so, it might be just easy for all of us to write in the Google Doc and show the answers and have the answers there for everybody. So that link is also in the email. I appreciate you watching all of these, gaining information, and again, welcome. Thanks for everything that you do for our Lakeview students.